So if you are starting up a business, I've got 10 important questions that every startup should ask themselves before they officially launch their business. So number one, is your business name or the business name that you want actually available, and is it appropriate, and do you match the necessary criteria? So you want to make sure that the business name that you're going to use is actually available in your region, that it will get approved, and that it's appropriate for what you do. I see some businesses kind of skip that step. They don't register their name, or they choose a name that isn't really suitable for their business. Number two is, what type of legal structure are you going to use? Are you going to incorporate? Is it going to be a partnership, a sole proprietorship, a cooperative, a limited liability partnership? Make sure you figured out which legal structure is the most suitable for your business. Number three is your business actually officially registered? So typically, at least in Canada, you would just register with your province. Sometimes you can incorporate federally if you want. And so you want to make sure that your business is actually registered. There are some instances where you don't need to, but for the most part, businesses need to be registered. The fourth question is your business actually feasible? Do you have the capital? Do you have the money to actually start this business? Are you going to be able to operate the business properly? Are you going to be able to make a profit? Do you have the resources you need to actually make this business not only officially start up, but to be operational for an extended period of time? The fifth question is, do you have the appropriate licenses? So do you have a municipal business license? Do you have a liquor license if you're serving liquor? Do you have a professional certificate or license with the association in which you're a part of? You know, if you are a physiotherapist or a dentist or something like that, you might need some extra permits or licenses. The next question is, do you have the right insurance and workers' compensation? Now, some businesses don't really need workers' compensation. Some businesses might not even need insurance, but most businesses do need some form of insurance, and pretty much any business with employees or sometimes even with subcontractors need workers' compensation, at least here in Canada. The next question, number 7, is, are you set up for the necessary and appropriate sales tax in your region? So that could be a federal sales tax, like here in Canada we have GST, could be a provincial sales tax, like in my province we have PST. So you want to make sure that if you need to be set up with those sales tax accounts, that you are properly set up with them. You are charging your clients those sales tax. You are collecting it from them, and then you're remitting it to the governing tax body in that jurisdiction. Question number 8, have you established good bookkeeping practices? You know, are you tracking all your receipts for expenses and recording those properly? Are you tracking all your revenue from sales and recording that properly with all the details that you need to record? I think that's really important, just to get off to the right start with a business and track that stuff appropriately. You don't want to run into issues where you find out you weren't tracking appropriately, and then it's just a whole mess and a lot of work to track down all those receipts and transactions and sales. The next question, number 9, is, do you have the proper infrastructure to actually serve your clients? You know, if that's retail, is your store actually set up, and do you have the software with a POS system to actually, collect payment through debit cards and credit cards? Do you have online booking software if you need that? Do you have the inventory to sell? There's all this different infrastructure that you might need to actually serve clients, and you want to make sure that you have that before you actually start serving them. And then the last question, number 10, is, do you have a payroll account set up? And of course, this will vary a little bit. Not every business needs a payroll account. I'm speaking mostly to Canadians here, where if you have employees, you're going to need to register with the CRA to have a payroll account. Whereas if you're just a sole proprietorship like myself, you don't have employees, then you're not going to need a payroll account unless maybe you're incorporated. So that is an important question to ask. But again, like pretty much any question, the answer will depend on the nature of the business and the way in which you have your business set up. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions about business startup, feel free to reach out to myself. I have a free 1-hour consultation that you can book on my website. And also, if you want to watch my other videos on YouTube, I have well over 120 videos now that talk about business startup and business management topics.